Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Made. In this episode, my guest is Jeff Kadlic, who I have known, I think, since seventh grade. But he is a musician, songwriter, luthier, and audio engineer. Sorry, I just laughed with the luthier. Um, a luthier, for those of you who don't know, is a maker of, let me see here, stringed instruments with a
Yeah.
neck. Is that something like that?
Yeah.
Guitars?
It's been a while since I've looked up the actual definition of that word, but yeah, I think it's in reference to a lute as well. So it's like it's
Yes.
kind of it's a fancy way of saying, I'm a guitar maker. I don't
Yeah.
actually use it that much, but for this I did.
Yeah, it says a craftsperson who builds or repairs string instruments that have a neck and a sound box. And yes, it's
Well,
from the French word for lute,
there you go.
L-U-T.
All
There
right.
you go. You
Okay.
knew that.
Okay.
Okay. We are talking about Twin Peaks. Um, Technically,
Yeah.
season one, episode one, which is the pilot, which is the movie, aka Northwest Passage, I guess it's
Oh
called.
yeah, I forgot about that. I love that title. Yeah, that's sort of a little bit under the radar at this point, I guess. But
Mm,
yeah, I think that
hmm
was what it was gonna be called, if it was a
Called.
one-off
I
movie or
think so.
something.
I think so too.
I like that.
Um, yeah, yeah. It's very chic and cool and
It
weird,
is. It is. Yeah, it's a lot
stylish.
of totally,
It's a lot.
totally.
Okay, so the series synopsis, for those of you who have never heard of it, I don't ever watched it. Let's see. Okay, this gets into who was created. Okay, the series follows an investigation headed by FBI Special Agent Dale Cooper, played by Kyle MacLachlan, and local sheriff Harry S. Truman,
I
played
love
by
that.
Mike. Isn't it funny? Michael Keen, into the murder of homecoming queen Laura Palmer in the fictional town of Twin Peaks, Washington. The show's narrative draws on elements of detective fiction, but its uncanny tone, supernatural elements, and campy melodramatic portrayal of eccentric characters also draws from American soap opera and horror tropes. Like much of Lynch's work, it is distinguished by surrealism, offbeat humor, and distinctive cinematography. The score was composed by Angelo Badalamenti, which I know you sent me the song, with
Yeah.
Lynch. The original run was followed by the 1992 feature film Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, which serves as a prequel to the series. Oh, I don't know if I
Mm.
watched that. The initial success of the series sparked a media franchise, leading to the release of several books. Oh my goodness. Okay. Then there was like a 2017 revival, which saw many of the
Yeah.
original cast. Did you
The
watch
ret
that?
the return. Yeah, I have. I've watched it
Okay.
once, and I really enjoyed it, but
Okay.
I've never really been ready to go back and watch it again because it was
Mm.
just really intense. Have you watched that?
I didn't watch the revival. No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
No.
called Twin Peaks: The Return.
Okay.
So yeah, if you like the original Twin
Yeah.
Peaks, yeah, you should check it out.
Okay. Okay. So here is the episode recap of the first episode. The small northwest town of Twin Peaks, Washington, is shaken when the body of Laura Palmer is discovered washed up on a riverbank wrapped in plastic. FBI Special Agent Dale Cooper is called in when Ronette Pulaski, who attended the same high school as Palmer, is found wandering on a bridge before lapsing into a coma. Cooper believes there is a connection between Palmer's death and the death of another girl named Teresa Banks that happened a year earlier. Cooper discovers a small piece of paper with the letter R on it shoved under Laura's fingernail. He tells Sheriff Harry S. Truman that under Banks' nail he found a T. Meanwhile, the Palmer family and friends struggle to come to terms with her death and wonder how it might have come about. Believing that this is the same killer who struck the previous year, Cooper starts an official investigation. Meanwhile, the rebellious Audrey Horne, wait a minute. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sherilyn Fayette ruins a business deal for her father, Benjamin Horne. Sheriff Truman arrests Palmer's boyfriend, Bobby Briggs, who is secretly seeing a married waitress named Shelley. Palmer's best friend, Donna Hayward, and Palmer's secret boyfriend, James Hurley, discover a mutual attraction, and Laura's mother is terrified by a vision. The episode, oh, I didn't realize this. The episode has two different endings. Did you know that?
Yeah. So when we we were talking about doing this, I
Hmm.
hadn't watched it in a while, and I I ended up on Amazon, to watch it,
Hmm.
and
Me too.
yeah, I'd forgotten that there's some weird thing that happened with this pilot, because the one that I saw originally back in the day, I think it was about uh about 100 minutes, the runtime or something like
Okay.
that, and I think I don't know what it's been referred to. It's been referred to different things as
Yeah.
different things over the years, but I don't
Yeah.
know if that was like a European release only, like a European theatrical release when it initially came out, and it wasn't
Yep.
aired. The edit that was aired in the States was what is on, I believe, is what is on
Is on
Amazon,
Amazon.
but it
Okay.
doesn't have all the other um, sort of the supernatural elements of Bob and Mike at the end, and
Okay.
the Black Lodge with um, you know the dancing man and Laura, and the chevron, the Black Lodge scenes and stuff.
Right.
So when
Okay.
it just ended, when I revisited it, I was like, wait a minute, that's not
Isn't
the
there
one
other
that I
way?
saw. But anyway, so it's like a thing, and it's kind of hard. I did look around for it. I you can't really, I don't know
Find
where
that
you
one.
can get that right now. Yeah,
That's
it's
so
it's
weird.
but I
Yeah, it
want it.
says, yeah, right. It says the American version ends with the above events concluded by Sarah Palmer's nightmare of a hand digging into the ground and grabbing James's half of a necklace that
Yeah,
belongs to Laura. The international
yeah.
version was filmed with 20 extra minutes of footage in case the series was not picked up by the networks, rather allowing them to release it as a television movie. It contains scenes from episode 1 where Sarah realizes that there was a man hiding in Laura's room when she checked in it the previous day. It also contains the ending to episode 2 when Cooper dreams of meeting Laura and a mysterious man who speaks to him in a disjointed voice. It also reveals who Laura's killers were. Huh.
Oh,
Killers.
all right. See, I just should have let you talk,
Oh,
because
no, it's
that's it.
okay. I didn't realize it said that. Yeah, but that went into um okay, so why did you choose this series and this episode?
Well, it just had such a huge influence on
Mhm.
me when I did not see this when we were in high school. I wasn't even aware of it, and it yeah, it really, I just had never seen anything like that. And I remember after watching it, when I think it was around 97 or so, that it was released on VHS maybe for the first time, but that's when I came across it, at least.
Mhm.
And I watched the pilot, and I just, one thing was, I just couldn't believe that this was on television, like a show like this. I was like,
Yeah.
this was actually aired on national television, like prime time. This is like crazy.
Yeah.
And I just fell so hard for the the world building of it, and the eccentric characters,
Mhm.
and the music, and the cinematography, and the warmth that it has of
Mm.
just I guess you'd call it color correction, and the even the costumes and stuff. There's like all the like uh the women have like these, like, really, like, there's a lot of sweaters. That's just, there's like these, they had like these cozy kind of sweaters, and
Yeah.
and
A
and
little
there, I
bit
mean,
50s, a little bit
oh,
50s
oh yeah, I
style,
was just gonna
right?
say,
Yeah.
it has, yeah, that 50s, very much is in, like, all through it, like the feel of that time, but it's, through, it's still, modern, it was contemporary then, but it was
Yeah.
an interesting mix.
Yeah. Um I was just going to say too, the contrast of the feel of the small town. It does feel very innocent and cozy in a way, but the darkness of what Laura was really involved in,
Yeah,
really
yeah,
contrasts it.
yeah, absolutely. That world building part of it, was, you know just so, like, hypnotic, that
Mhm.
this episode is, I wonder, like, I don't know if would this even something like this even get made today, because it's such a slow burn for the first 20 or 30 minutes. Like most people will be like,
I'm
what?
done.
No,
Yeah.
I'm out of here. It's, and it's, I think it's masterful because
Yeah.
the way it's shot, and the pace of it, it just keeps drawing you in, and then you get to see how all these different characters are affected by learning that Laura was murdered, and
Hmm.
it starts to just all unfold, and it's like, yeah, it's really magnetic. You're just
Yeah.
like, it's pulling
Yeah.
you in, and I just love that
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah. It's it's great. And in the overdone characters and the some of the acting, you're like, "Oh my god, this is so bad." But I
Oh
think it's
yeah.
on purpose. Like, I think
Oh
really
yeah.
it's purposeful.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think yeah. There's this Lynch. He always kind of does this thing. Like I don't know. He seems to be able to get what he wants out of his actors. But
Mhm.
I was watching it. Actually, I watched this with my daughter, my 14-year-old daughter,
Oh, yeah.
which I was a little apprehensive to do, but
What did
the
she think?
she absolutely loved it. She's
Oh,
like,
awesome.
she's so captivated by it,
Oh, that's cool.
and you know the yeah, we were laughing a lot about Bobby, and just some, the
Oh,
way
yeah,
he
yeah.
delivers some of his lines. Like, it's just so ridiculous, but I love it. And then, like,
So dramatic.
yeah, and he, when um they
Like
pull
the
him into
library or
the
something.
library,
Yeah.
and he's like literally starting a fight with Hawk and Harry Truman. I'm like, who would do that? Like, but I love that that's what they went for and did it.
And then when they're in the jail and they're barking at,
Oh yeah,
Ja
yeah, yeah.
James is, like, pout face, like, his natural puffy lips, he's like
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. He really, yeah, he sells that home big time.
I mean, he was doing that way before the duck face, right? The lips and, the
Yeah,
pout,
yeah.
and I mean, it's his natural lips. It just like, when they find out Laura passed away and, Donna looks at him in the classroom, he's always, like, kinda turned to the side, he's like,
Yeah.
fine. And then when he's in jail too, he was also kinda sideways and, like, pouting,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah, that was kind of well, I guess, right, those were, well, I don't really know a lot about most of those actors, but I think those, like, Dana, what's his name? Dana Ashbrook, I think, who plays Bobby. You know that
yes, you're right, I saw that name.
he lives in Ruby.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
He's been spotted. Yeah.
I've probably seen
Yeah.
him. I'll be like, "Whoops."
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Uh,
funny.
I hope he's probably like, dude, no, but, I mean, I've never seen him, but I have friends that have seen him, that,
He's gonna
and
be stalked now, no,
yeah, well, he might
yeah,
be, but
because this is gonna
but
go
James,
viral, so
right? That's right. Everyone's gonna see this, so he's gonna, his phone's gonna blow up tomorrow, or whenever you upload this.
um, but, oh, by the way, with the music, the music that basically runs throughout it, it's how would you describe, like, I feel like it is, well, I guess 80s. It's right? It has that 80s feel, it's creepy, it's cool, it's mostly synthesizer, am I right? Like, the music that runs through it? 'Cause
Yeah.
you know better. You know best.
Well, it's it's pretty simple, really. I mean,
Right.
but you have, Angelo, Badalamenti's, obviously he's no slouch. I mean, he's great, an amazing composer. But yeah, a lot of times it's just his playing on a synthesizer,
Mm.
or
Mhm.
but then you have the jazz component of it
Mm.
as well. With There's a lot of brushwork and the
Okay.
upright bass and
Mhm.
the dreamy sounding sax, and
Mhm.
but again, that's excuse me, that's pretty sparse, and it's there's not much there. It's not like this huge thing, but production, but it's so effective. And I mean, it's almost, I think that part of it is kind of like almost like a 50s sort of like West Coast jazz,
Hmm.
sounds like vocalist, like almost like a Chet Baker kind of vibe. But it's definitely has, to me at least, like Lynch's DNA all over it, because it's got that kind of dark, moody sort of undercurrent.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of its own thing. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that Lynch and Angelo worked really closely together.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Yeah,
seems like, from what I know of it, it all happened really quickly. It was kind of just like lightning in a bottle. Like they just did it, and
that's cool.
it just came together real
That's
fast.
cool. Yeah. Um, this is not anything to do with music, but they filmed it in Snoqualmie, Washington, by the way. Um,
Yeah,
I figured it was kind of that area.
yeah.
um,
I don't know how much you want to get into that, but I've been there. I went there in
oh,
2018
you did?
to that town.
Oh,
Made
cool.
somewhat of a pilgrimage, if you will. And yeah, it's pretty amazing, because the they literally just found this town, and all of these things that you see in the show, they're all in that basic
Town.
basically all of the site, or the shooting locations, are there.
Hmm.
There's some, that took place elsewhere, but a lot of them, like the high school, like I drove
Mm.
into the high school parking
Oh,
lot, and I was
wow.
like, whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Walked into the double R. The giant log is there, and and that was 2018, and it looks
The
pretty
same?
similar.
Wow.
Yeah, like, the scene when Ronette comes walking across the bridge, which
Hmm.
is like, now I watch it, I have we both have children, but I have a daughter, and I'm seeing that, I was like,
Ooh.
oh my
Yeah.
God,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
that
yeah.
is so frightening.
Yes.
And we, um, I got to go to that bridge, and walk on that bridge, and
Oh,
see, like,
cool.
that exact shot. Yeah,
Wow.
and it was really cool, because there were still, like, locals, like, swimming in the water under that bridge,
Oh,
and jumping off the bridge and stuff.
oh, cool. Um, so the Great Northern, like the big lodge.
That's there too.
Oh,
The
cool.
waterfall and
Did you go
everything.
in it?
Yeah.
Did you go into the lodge or no? It's an actual lodge where people stay and stuff?
So, if I remember correctly, the waterfall, and all those exterior shots,
Mhm.
that's in Snoqualmie. I think that the all of the interior stuff that we see in the show, um, is a different location,
Mm,
because I did go in there. I'm trying to remember now, but I don't remember being in, like, the hotel, but I was like,
right.
there was like a gift shop or something, and
Oh, okay.
but that whole yeah, that whole thing with the waterfall, and I mean, yeah, you go
That's
there, and you're
cool.
like, yeah, that's Twin Peaks,
That's
you're
so
there.
cool. That's really cool. Um, okay, so I have some other like random notes. No one was wearing gloves at the murder scene, like with the body. Like no one
Oh,
had gloves on. They're like touching. Even I now I'm trying to. Of course, I noticed that. I was like, ah,
yeah,
evidence, fingerprints. Sorry, that's
yeah,
bothering me. Then now I don't remember actually when
some
they were in.
shoddy detective work until,
They're like
well,
rolling
hey,
her over.
yeah, maybe that's, until Cooper, shows up, and then everything starts to tighten up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, also the guy, I think it was Peter who calls because he finds her. He like stood
Hmm.
there while they were like doing. He wouldn't have the person,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
standing there. Um, I also there. I think it's when they go to like the town meeting and Cooper's like all excited because he loved it. There's a woman flicking the lights and she's holding a log, and they go. I think Cooper says, "Who's the lady with the log?" And he goes, "We call her the log lady."
Yeah, of course. It's perfect.
It's it's
It's so perfect.
It's great. Now and I just have to say, Lara, right? Lara Flynn Boyle. She is such a good actress. She was like when she was crying. I mean, I guess two next to the other ones, it's kind of goofy, but she's great. I mean, obviously
Yeah,
she went on to do other things too, but she's
yeah, I
really
thought
good.
so. I thought so as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's something, particularly in that episode, she's so good, and her, like, the the pace, the cadence of the
Mm-hmm.
way she delivers her lines, and she also has a, like this breathy kind of dreamy voice too.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. No, she's good. She's gorgeous.
yeah,
The singer, you probably know this. The singer at the Roadhouse who's singing to the theme. Her
yeah,
name's Julie Cruz.
yes.
Um, and there was something I thought I had interesting about her. Um, let me see. No.
She worked a lot with Lynch and Angelo. They did, I
Yeah,
think, three three records, and I don't know.
she released
I don't know
four
how the
albums. It says,
okay.
beginning with 1989's "Floating into the Night."
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, there's not sure how that all coalesced with Twin Peaks and her music, but
yeah,
some of the stuff ended up on the Twin Peaks soundtrack, with her, singing.
yeah. It's
And
says
then, of course, she's in the
mhm.
show a few times, at
Yeah, it
least
says
a
a
few times.
reoccurring role as a Roadhouse singer. Oh, the
Yeah.
fight too at the Roadhouse was like hysterical. Like I don't,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
no one's like
Totally.
doing anything, and it was such a big space too. It was like it's just it was
Yeah.
funny.
One of my favorite lines from that is a Bobby line when he's like, "Lights out, Mister Monkey Wrench," because he's talking to Big Ed, and I'm like, it's just so stupid,
Stupid.
but it's
I
perfect.
wait, it's Big Ed, the one who owns the gas station,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
married to the woman with the eye patch, and he's out with like his girlfriend at the Roadhouse. Like they're sitting at the table together out in front of everybody. I was like, what's going
Yeah, yeah,
on?
yeah. Like we're gonna meet at the only place in town that everyone goes
That
to.
everyone goes to. Everyone. By the way, Julie Cruz died in 2022. I just saw that.
I know,
At
I know.
65.
Yeah,
Huh. That's sad.
yeah.
That's sad. I don't know how it doesn't say that. What else do I have here? Those are basically. So, who's your favorite character? You think? This.
Well, that's easy. It's Cooper.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say.
I mean, isn't that everyone's favorite
I would
character?
think so. You never know. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
hear you.
I
Well,
love him.
there are, I mean, there are a lot of great characters, but yeah, Cooper is definitely my favorite character.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just he's you know he's just so fun to watch on screen, and he's methodical, and he's serious, and he's got a great sense of humor, and
Hmm.
it's just such a great character, and he really
Yeah.
fits in to the town pretty quickly,
Yeah.
and without necessarily adapting to what the town is. Although he's curious, and you can tell that he really really loves it there. I love that
Yeah.
about that character, is his curiosity,
And
and
connect. He
how.
makes connections too. He's not cold.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
Oh, definitely,
Hmm.
definitely. But he'll, right, he'll call it as he sees it too, right?
Hmm.
With Dr. Jacoby, when they walk into the hospital, when on
Hmm.
their, I guess they're going to the morgue
Oh,
to see Laura's body, and
yeah.
then Sheriff Truman introduces him, and he's like, "That guy is a psychiatrist," you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. He has such a look to him too. He just, I mean, he looks like an
yeah,
actor. He looks like someone from the 50s. Also,
yeah,
I'm a huge fan of Sex in the City, and he had a part on there, which he honestly
I
played
know.
kind of a
Yeah,
goofball, but um,
yeah. Oh, he's a great actor.
yeah,
He's
he's a
done
great
so
actor.
many. See,
Yeah.
you probably know he was one of Lynch's go-to guys for a long time. He was in a lot of his movies,
Mm-hmm.
Dune and Blue Velvet, uh, other things as well. But yeah, they've had a long time collaboration.
That's cute. Um, do you have a character that you relate to at all?
That I relate to. Well,
Like,
that's a good question. I guess I'd have to go. I guess I'd have to go back to Cooper again.
mm-hmm.
Well, I think actually, I think it's all I can relate to all of the all a lot of the characters like that are in high school.
Hmm.
Just and particularly in regard to this episode and how we get to see how they all learned that Laura was murdered and how that just seeps into the school
Mm.
and like the principal makes the announcement and then there's a police officer that walks into the classroom and they all look at each other and when we were in high school there were some classmates that passed away
Yeah.
suddenly or and it was like it was like that, like I remember
Yeah.
that like feeling
Yeah.
that was I think that was another reason why like the show grabbed me because I knew like that experience and
Yeah.
yeah.
And the no cell phones, the no way to, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
know stuff immediately or be like, I haven't spoken to, just you only had home phones and
yeah. It's like just a. I know that we can relate to that, from given when we grew up. So it's a very real way that it would have unfolded, and
yeah.
there's a lot of those little things that I like about the show with like even like when Truman and Cooper go into the morgue and Cooper's trying to extract uh, the letter from underneath
Yeah.
Laura's fingernail. So it's obviously he's trying to do it very carefully and precisely, but you have that one fluorescent light that's flickering, and it's like going on and off and
Yeah.
you're going
So
on
dark in there.
and I'm like, yeah, like it's never, like things never happen like you think they're gonna happen,
Hmm.
and it's like just to me that's like a real nice real life touch to the scene. Like, of course, if he had to like carefully extract this thing from her finger, there's going to be this freaking light that's
Like,
going
yep.
on and off, going like, ah,
Yeah.
make it stop.
They snuck out a lot, like way more. I didn't sneak out. I mean, you might have. I don't know, but I also where I
I
lived,
never, I never snuck
there was no
out.
place for me to go. Like, I, I mean, I lived in Blue Mountain, and who was I going? I mean, you lived in town, so you maybe could have
Yeah,
snuck out, but then that means
I'm.
other people are sneaking out. Like, nobody
Oh
was sneaking
yeah.
out, at least, especially on weeknights. I don't, as far as I know.
Well, yeah, I can tell you as a townie, yeah, we made a living sneaking out. Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I can relate to that too. That's why I think I said that I relate to the high
Yeah,
school
to the high
students for
school kids. Yeah.
yeah.
But I love how they're like curfew, and Donna's like, "I'm sneaking out." Like basically just like, "No, I'm sneaking out." Left
Oh
her.
yeah, I love that little exchange with her and her
Her
sister.
sister. I also love her dad when they're in the car. He's so cute,
Oh yeah, I
and he's like
totally.
so cute. And when he's like, "We're grateful you're our daughter," or something like that, I was
Yeah.
like, "He's so cute."
Yeah, no,
Um,
that's a really that's another part of the show that's just so beautiful. There's a lot of moments that are really sweet like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, okay. My next question, but I asked you and you told me was, did you watch the revival? Um, well, let's go into you. When did you start playing music? How did you get into that?
Well, I started playing. I think I was about 15, and I I think my mom got me a used acoustic guitar from a yard sale or something like that, and she brought it home, and she said, "Oh, they also have a bass guitar with an amplifier there too. If you don't like the acoustic guitar." And I was like, "Yeah, I want the bass guitar with the amp."
Yeah.
And so that's how that started.
Did
I guess.
she just had you been talking about it? Like why did she go and buy that? Did you say something?
Yeah, I think well, my mom, she played guitar a little bit growing
Okay.
up and um nothing serious or anything, but it was around the house and
Okay.
the I was always into music, but yeah, I guess I really, in a sense, kind of started late, playing. 15 is maybe a little late, but certainly by today's
Today,
standards,
I know.
like, yeah, if you're not a prodigy by the time you're 5, like, forget it, you're done. you know.
How did you how did you learn? Did you take lessons or did she teach you or what? What did you do?
Well, yeah, I guess for better or worse, I just started playing, trying to play the thing,
So self-taught.
and then I did take lessons in Socrates at PA
Okay.
Lawrence with the guitar teacher for a little while,
Okay.
and it was more, it was more something to do and hang out, like you find some other people that played and we would just hang out, and try to, we basically just figured it out together.
Wow.
And that's how I, that's how I started, that's how I started playing. And I think it was like probably a year later, just not even a year later that, I was in a band and we played our first gig and, I guess the rest is history at this point.
And the name I because I forgot it now. I'm forgetting it. What's the name? Because I have your band on my mind. What was the name of your first band?
It was the name of my first band was Pacemaker.
Yes. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so mad.
Yeah.
I
And
forgot.
I don't recall how we came up with that name or where it came from, but
It's a good one.
yeah, I guess
I think
so.
it's a good
Yeah.
one.
I don't know that I was ever really in love with it, but at that point I think we were just happy to have
Yeah.
something like that.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember your first gig with them?
I do. It
I'm sure.
was we played in Glasgow, New York, America.
The little
uh,
Italy of
yeah,
Saugerties.
that's right. That's right. And we played. It was some kind of party off of 32 on on top of an Eager Beaver flatbed. That was the bandstand.
Whose party was I was not there.
I
I don't
I
think.
don't I don't remember the whose party it was. It was a daytime thing,
Oh, okay.
and 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 there were three or four other bands, and we actually got asked to play. Uh, there was another band called Final Notice, and they were like way older than us. They were like probably 3 or 4 years older than us, and they were like
Mm-hmm.
a Murphy's Law kind of like hardcore band. They were like scary, and they like loved us, and they had a gig that night somewhere else in like Kingston, and they were like, "You guys are gonna come down to Kingston and play with us tonight,"
Oh my
and
gosh.
we were like, "Okay," and we did. We went and played. We got there and we were like way over our heads.
Yeah.
We're just like, oh boy, but they brought us on stage and we played like 3 or 4 songs.
Oh,
Yeah, that was a pretty magical
that's
first gig.
cool. What do I know anyone who was in Final Notice? Excuse me.
Well, well, Chris D'Angelo's older
I was
brother,
just
Mike.
going to say that. As
That
soon
was
as you
his.
said, I knew it.
That was his band. Yeah,
Yes, and
yeah,
I've seen their band.
yeah,
I when you said Final Notice, I was like, wasn't that his band?
yeah, yeah,
For
yeah.
those viewers out there, Chris
If you,
D'Angelis was my high school boyfriend.
that's right, that's right.
Um,
So, and
and I was his brother's band.
Mike actually, he that was my very first gig, and he used my bass amp on the
Oh
gig,
wow.
and he blew it up. On my first gig, I was like, oh man, and yeah, he was cool about it, but I don't I got it fixed eventually. I don't remember what happened there, but it did blow up.
And everything took longer back then, so I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Um, okay. So you went from playing music in high school and then you went to college. Where did you went? Did you go to Berkeley
I
in
went to
Boston?
yeah, I went to Berkeley College of Music. I took a year off. I moved down
Okay.
to North
Second. Yeah.
Carolina. I lived
Hmm.
in Raleigh for a year,
Hmm.
and then I came back, and yeah, I went to Berkeley and starting in 1994. Oh wow, yeah. I'm feeling a little old now. But yeah, 1994. And that's
I'm not as old as you. No, I'm just
okay.
I'm
All
just
right.
kidding. I'm just kidding. Fine.
You
Just
can't
kidding.
be that much younger than me.
I'm not. I think we're the
I know.
same age. Uh, um. So, what did you study at college? What did you study? All instruments, or
Yeah,
what did you
I
do?
did a mix. I I did performance studies and
Hmm.
audio engineering.
Okay.
So kind of like a dual track.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Didn't
then
sorry, keep going.
no, go ahead.
Did John Mayer go to college? He did, right? But
Yeah, yeah,
you
John
weren't
Mayer
there at the
went there. Yeah.
you weren't there at the same time, were you? No, because he's
No,
younger.
that was later. I think yeah,
Damn.
because he's I'm not sure how old he is, right? He's
He's
in his like
younger. He's a bit younger.
late 30s. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I think he's over 40. Okay. Relax. He's over
Okay.
40, I
All right.
think.
All right. All right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there. Um, uh, how did you get into making guitars? How did you learn that?
Yeah. Well, that was kind of by accident in a way. So I when I finished up college, I moved down to like Westchester area and started working in New York City
Hmm.
at a rehearsal studio called Studio Instrument Rentals, which is basically like the premier rehearsal and sound stage in New York.
Where
And
was that? Or where is it?
it's well, they have a couple of locations, but at the time, like a like a some a lot of things, it feels like these days it's no longer there. But the place that I worked was in Chelsea on
Oh, okay.
25th Street between 10th and 11th, and they also had another location on 52nd Street. Basically right in Midtown.
Hmm. Just was
So
asking because so you moved down to this. Do you remember when you were doing what year that was when you were in the city?
yeah, it would have been like late nineteen
Yeah,
ninety eight.
I was
Yeah.
there um after I graduated. I was like I was there 97 to like 2003. I was
Really? Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So I was there from like 98 to about 2006.
I can't that's fine. I don't know if I realized well, I don't know. You believe it or
You
not,
never
you do
called?
you
You never called
I
or
never
anything?
called. No, I don't think I knew you were there. Did I know you were there? I don't
Well,
know.
there were a lot of it. We knew a lot less then for sure, where people were doing. There's
Yeah,
no cell phones.
true. But
I didn't have a
people, I
cell
don't know. No,
I didn't have
yeah.
a cell phone until after 9/11.
Oh, wow. Yeah, my husband didn't
Yeah.
get one till we started dating. It was like 2004 or something like that. Yeah, 2004.
Yeah.
But when I was in the city, I got one. I know when I got one. I think it was like 98, 1998. I think. Anyway,
Wow. Yeah. Early
that was
adopter.
cool. Yeah. Um, yeah. So you lived in Westchester at the time though?
I actually lived for a little while. I did. I lived with our friend Dan Carey for a little while, and then
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
then I was living in Suffern in Rockland County, and that's where I
Okay.
was for the most of the time.
Okay.
And yeah, so
I'm just
it was
curious.
yep, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
but I
was
was never there. It was
mm,
just basically a kind of a crash pad to exist in the city, and it
yeah.
was affordable and all those things.
Yeah. I lived in Brooklyn, Queens, and then Manhattan. So
Oh
I
wow,
bounced around.
nice, nice,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I worked right in Times Square for most of it. So
Really?
yeah. Yeah. I was
But
down by in the sea at the seaport. I worked near the seaport for maybe like 6 months or so. And then I switched jobs and worked for Morgan Stanley for the rest of my time there
mm,
in Times Square. Anyway.
yeah, we Danette, my wife, when she worked in Midtown for quite a while, and we at a certain point we started driving into the city,
Oh, wow.
so it was yeah. I think about that now, like how did that
I know.
how did I endure that? But we would drive in from Rockland, and get on the West Side Highway and, I don't know, shoot over on like 58th Street or something like that. I would drive her into Midtown, drive back out to the West Side, and then go down to 25th Street. And there was a parking lot right by the
Oh my
studio
gosh.
where I worked, and did that for like years.
Yeah. Wow. Ugh. I ran
Yeah,
into her. I ran into her in in like near Times Square.
I was
That's
gonna
why
say.
it's funny to say like, I didn't know you were there. I mean, it's the city, but you run into people. It's weird. It's
Oh
weird.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to see Jimmy, Fallon quite a
Yeah,
bit, just out and
because he
about,
was
and
going. Oh, okay. Yeah.
out in the because well when I worked at the studio, we had one of the accounts was with NBC, so I did a lot of work at
Oh. Oh,
NBC over
cool.
the years,
Cool.
and would be in that building.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite musician?
Ooh.
No, I know. Like top
Wow.
three?
Mm, well, jeez. I'm gonna go. Like this week. I don't think I can answer that. I'll say my favorite musician this week, or like this
Okay.
month. Like right now,
Yeah.
it always
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah. Who was your
Wow.
biggest influence, you think, when you were starting to play?
Well, a lot of music of the day,
Mm.
like a lot of hard rock and metal and
Mhm.
stuff from
Mhm.
the 80s, and but my favorite musician, I think I gotta think about that for a second. That is so
That's
hard to
okay.
answer. Well, probably not now because I'm in like sort of a different space, like creatively. But I am a really huge fan of Brian Setzer, and his he's just I think he's just amazing. His as a guitar player and a vocalist, and that really came out from most. I mean, I always liked the Stray Cats and the stuff that he did with the BSO with the Brian Setzer Orchestra, but the like his first like holiday record that he did, I think, is maybe some of his best guitar playing,
Mm.
and he doesn't really have a popular reputation for it, but he's a really heavy jazz guitar player too.
Mhm.
He's
Mhm.
just and the I don't know if you like Christmas music at all, like his DVD that's been out for a long time now, but it's a
Mhm.
Brian Setzer Orchestra, Christmas extravaganza, blah blah blah, whatever. But you really get it's a great documentary of like his the intricate playing that he does while singing these big band tunes, and yeah, so he's a big influence for sure. And then to come back to the Twin Peaks, really, it's Lynch is not a musician, but his the way he uses music and his collaboration with Angelo, and that the music in this show like was a huge influence on
Mm.
me, and it still
Mhm.
is, and it just sort of set me down all these different paths. And it's not even necessarily about like the notes or like the songs or whatever, but it's the tonality and the color and
Mhm.
the mood that makes that it's so evocative.
Mhm. Mhm. Your band that you're in now, the Rough Shapes, how would you describe that?
Well, that my elevator pitch for that is it's like kind of like Henry Mancini meets Link Ray. So Link Ray was like a you know underground guitar player. Probably the most well-known song of his is the song Rumble that's in Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
um, and it's he did a lot of instrumental music, and he was around for a long time.
When I listened to the song that you sent me, I thought of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we get that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm actually that project is kind of on the back burner for now, but
Mhm.
because I'm working on another project. I'm doing a record with maybe some of your listeners are familiar with, but Sean. Matthew Whiteford, who plays a lot at Colony. He's got like a
Oh, oh,
house,
cool.
like a party band there,
Mm,
and so yeah, we've been working for a little while, and but you never know with the rough shapes. I mean, probably come back to it because I like that
hmm
style of music, and it's like rockabilly and jazz and kind of
hmm
noir kind of spy,
Yeah. Yeah.
underground guitar music.
And it's probably going to sound like a stupid question. Is there no singing?
Yeah, that was all instrumental.
That song
The
was. Yeah.
yeah, all the rough shape stuff is
Okay.
instrumental, and that's the
Okay.
first time I had ever done an instrumental project, and
Mm,
yeah, it was fun. It's definitely a different mindset. All the other stuff I've ever been involved with always had a singer.
yeah. And you
So
are a songwriter. Do you write, do you more
yeah,
compose or you write lyrics
yeah,
and music?
everything. I mean, within
Okay.
in that sort of I guess if pop structure, if you will, that something that has a verse and a chorus
hmm
and that kind of thing. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that. Um, Totally different subject. What can't you leave the house without?
Oh,
Like not car, not keys, wallet, phone.
yeah.
It's, you're just like, I
Uh,
gotta have that, or I feel weird. Is there anything like that?
yeah, probably a guitar pick, actually. So,
Perfect.
I like to have a guitar pick with me, especially if I'm going someplace for a little while. Like if I'm sometimes it's nice to leave, and then you just say like I'm gonna leave the instruments at home for a week and
hmm
or whatever. But I always want to have a guitar pick with me because I
Just
know
in
I'll find a
case.
music store,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'll and I like to have the picks that I prefer to use.
Yeah. That is perfect. I always think people are gonna be like, I don't know, I can't. But everybody who answers it, I'm always like, oh my gosh, that's so perfect. What can't you live without? Now, that could
Hmm,
be deep. That could be superficial. It can be a food. I don't know. What comes to mind?
probably coffee.
What
Yeah.
if people say
See, yeah, this the show has really affected me deeply.
that?
But yeah, the yeah, I think my love for coffee and just like the ritual of
It's the
making it
ritual.
and all,
Yeah.
yeah, and all
I mean,
that
the taste too.
definitely,
But
yeah, it
okay.
definitely comes from Twin Peaks.
So how many cups a day do you have?
I actually don't drink that much. I don't
Oh,
think I
that's good.
have. I have probably like one and a half cups in the
Mm,
morning, but then I usually have like a cup of coffee like going all day. Like I'll just nurse
right.
it through the day, and then if it gets to the point where I'm like, oh, I don't like this taste anymore.
Yeah.
I'll have like one small cup in the afternoon. So
Okay.
uh it depends on the time of year too. Some days like
Yeah.
no amount of coffee will work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. How do you take it? Like, what do you
it
put in
it
it?
depends. I mean, I do like to drink it black, but it depends on the coffee though. If it's bad
Yes.
coffee, I have a hard time drinking it black.
Yes. When you make it at home, do you have like I assume a certain coffee brand? Like, what do you have at home? You make it at home every day in the morning,
Oh
or do you
yeah,
go
yeah,
out?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I don't make it every. I mean, I make coffee every day, but I'm not really good at the morning, so I don't always get out of bed to make it. So, y- you know, so my wife will make it, which
That's
is
very nice. Yes.
wonderful. Yes,
So
and
what kind do you have? Do you know?
well, it's
So
it's
curious.
all kinds of stuff. Well, we buy what is it? I've seen it around at like Mother Earth's. I can't remember the name of the
Oh,
brand, but um, it's usually I like dark roast coffee.
dark roast.
So
Yeah, me too.
you like which as I understand it, there's less caffeine in
I
dark roast.
know. Yeah, I was gonna say
Right?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell the difference now because if I have like a medium roast or like a light roast cup of coffee,
You're
I'm
like,
like, whoa, yeah,
it's so
it's too,
weird. It's
yeah,
kind of
it's
weird.
really
I don't know.
affects me differently.
Yeah.
So yeah, dark roast is the way for me.
we get we get the whole beans. I can't disclose the person's, actually, I don't even remember the person's name, but it's someone Dave knows. We get this giant bag.
Oh, awesome.
I don't know how many pounds it is, and it's an Ethiopian. It's Ethiopian.
Yeah.
That's what I know, and I forgot the name of it. Oh, it's something like, I don't understand because I thought it was Ethiopian, but it's called Yirgachev, which does not sound Ethiopian. But I could have sworn. Well, I
No,
guess
that
it can
sounds
be.
right, I
Can
think.
be, yeah.
Yeah.
And we have like a 1 cup, like we grind the coffee, and then is it espresso maker, I guess? Yeah, because it has the foam thing on the side.
Poro.
It's not overly fancy. It's not like expensive. But so I ended up buying like a Mr. Coffee when we have people over. But we pretty much always
Yeah.
do like the single cups.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's hard
yeah.
to meet that. Like if you a lot of times if I go to a coffee shop to get coffee, I'll get like an Americano or something because I know that like
Yes.
it's going to be made right there, or
Yes. Yes.
right then and there. Like as to like getting it out of the vat of coffee, you don't know how long that's been sitting
Oh
in there.
yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's definitely the ritual. Like I got into after my trip out to Seattle in 2018 when we went to
Hmm.
Snoqualmie. I had some really great coffee there, as you would imagine,
Mm.
and
Hmm.
I got into weighing, the beans and all that stuff, like a
Wow.
scale and and yeah, it got to the next level. But actually, we had like a pretty nice coffee bean grinder, and unfortunately died on us because of an accident. So yeah, it was. I've done this as well, but we moved recently and just nerves were kind of shot and everything as we
Yeah.
were getting out of the house, and
Uh,
it was super early, and Danette actually poured the water from the carafe into the grinder, the coffee grinder, and like just
oh.
like half asleep. And I had done that before,
Oh.
like
Oh,
oh
really?
whoa whoa whoa, whoa.
Oh my gosh.
And
That
it just
killed it.
fried the grinder. I actually when we tried it, we were like, oh, pack it up and you know we'll see if it works when we move in the house. And I tried it when we moved in, and I was like, it's done. It's
Done.
toast. Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
So now we've been slumming it with pre-ground coffee. So I don't know. We got to get
Oh.
another grinder.
You got to get a grinder. Yes, you
Yeah,
do. Um, those are all my questions. I don't know if you want to
yeah.
plug
Well, hey.
anything.
Well, if you are interested in any guitars or guitar work, you can check out my website,
Hmm.
champtone.com.
Hmm.
And of course, there's links to social media on there. And there's also the Rough Shapes website as well. And it has all of our links. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. This is so
Well, it
much
was
fun.
awesome. Yeah, totally. Great time talking Twin Peaks with you. This was
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you.
And thank you for picking that because it was really fun to watch it
Totally.
again. It's been a few years. Dave
Nice.
and I
Yeah, yeah.
binged it. I think before I had Donovan, a long time ago.
It
We
was a
watched it.
while for me too. I haven't watched it in a while. It was really nice to go back to it. Yeah.
All right. Well, bye everyone.
All right. Thanks for having me.